Am I the a-hole for telling my brother-in-law to stop picking on my kids, or he is not coming on vacation? I have 3 kids, Rob, 16 male, Lisa, 14 female, and 9 female. Lisa is autistic, and her special interest is Taylor Swift. Rob and Anne go along with it and indulge her. They are good kids who care and support each other, and Rob and Anne get attention and support for their interests too. My brother-in-law Hector's entire personality is trying to rile people. You know the whole, it's just a joke, bro. Super childish, but whatever, he's family. Except my husband is out of the country, so I guess he thinks he gets to do whatever he wants. A few weeks ago, he started needling at Lisa by making fun of Taylor Swift using lots of childish name-calling words, intentionally using the wrong word for fans and stuff. Just really immature kid stuff. Lisa knows that not everyone likes Taylor Swift, and some people even hate her. One of her best friends hates her. She is not unable to hear different opinions. She has her own I am sure she would love to share with you all if you had 4 hours to spare. He would say, well, Swiffers did XYZ, and she would say, Uncle Hector, it is Swifties, and he would say it again to needle at her. Rob was in the room, I was not. Rob said to him, why do you keep using the wrong word? She told you the right word. Hector said he can say whatever he wants, and to cry about it. Rob said, it just seems like you're going out of your way to upset Lisa. Rob asked her to finish what she was talking about and to ignore Hector. This is when I came into the room, and Hector waved at the kids and said, Roberta's getting real mad that someone's joking about mother. I was not in the room, so I did not hear the comment about me, and Rob said I would not get it. Before I could say anything, Rob said, bro, did you really just call me a girl's name? Are you 12? I put my hands up and said, okay, enough, Hector, stop. He said I am raising soft kids who cannot take a joke. I said he is being so darn rude and that he would not be acting like this if my husband was home. I said that if he wants to still go with us to Colorado in the summer like we were planning, he has to stop now or he is not coming. This set him off, and he said I had no right to do that. Yes, I do. And that I am being a controlling yak over Taylor Swift. I said no, forget Taylor Swift. This is about you being mean to your niece because her dad is not home. He said forget you and good luck next time we have a problem. We are on our own. He took his Costco chicken and left, and I swear he must have immediately gone running to my mother-in-law because she called me to ask for what really happened and sighed a lot. I asked her if I was overreacting, and she said she just hopes we can work it out because that trip was all he had to look forward to since he was laid off from work. I hate causing drama in the family, so am I the a-hole, and am I out of line? Not the a-hole. You should be proud of your son for standing up for his sister. The brother-in-law does not deserve to go for being a nasty piece of work. Am I the a-hole for not shortening my workout for 2 strangers? Yesterday at the gym around 5:30 p.m., I started my leg day workout, which is usually the longest of the week. I was using the power rack to do squats, deadlifts, and good mornings, typically taking about 30 to 40 minutes. There are 3 power racks, and I was using one of them. I take about 3-minute rests between squat sets since I am doing heavy weight for low repetitions. While I was squatting, 2 girls, who I will call Girl A and Girl B, started waiting behind me. Neither approached me to ask how many sets I had left, but they just hung around. When I finished squatting and began re-racking my weights to prepare for deadlifts, I could tell they assumed I was done. I walked up to Girl A and asked if she was waiting for me to finish. She said yes, so I explained that I still had deadlifts and another movement to do. She responded with, of course you do. And I just moved on. As I set up and began deadlifting, both girls stood nearby, rolling their eyes and acting frustrated, as though I should be shortening my workout for them. I decided to be polite and ask Girl A what she wanted to do. She said squats, so I offered her the nearby squatting area since I was not using it. She declined, so I kept going with my workout. Meanwhile, another guy using a different power rack offered the same to Girl B, but she also declined. A group of 2 women then came up, and the girls complained that they had been waiting for 30 minutes and it was ridiculous. I ignored them. When I finished deadlifting, Girl A moved away to warm up. I approached Girl B, and before I could speak, she looked at me and paused her music, saying, "What? Hold on, I cannot hear you." I I told her I still had one more movement to do and would need 5 to 10 more minutes. She seemed upset and responded sarcastically, "Okay, that is fine. I have already been here 30 minutes. What is another 10?" I shook my head and walked away. As I started my next movement, I briefly considered shortening it to avoid further conflict, but then decided not to. I did not want to reward their rudeness by letting them dictate my workout. I have been lifting since 2016 and have always tried to be respectful and kind to others at the gym. When people ask politely, I do not mind sharing equipment, but the way these girls treated me was unpleasant. I continued my workout as planned because being kind is free, and I was not going to let their behavior disrupt my day. Am I the a-hole for continuing my workout despite their rude behavior? Not the a-hole. It was rude for them to try to pressure you off your workout. If someone is using the thing I want, I go do something else until it is free. Am I the a-hole for not paying my friend back for something I never asked for? This happened like a week ago, and it is still awkward. My friend and I were at the mall just walking around, and we stopped by one of those little skincare booths. The lady was doing free hand scrubs or whatever, and I was just standing there letting her try it on me because it smelled nice. The friend was super into it, though, asking a million questions. I said I was not buying anything and even stepped away a little, but while I was looking at a display, the friend ended up buying 2 of the scrubs. They were like $35 each. Cool, whatever. But then as we were leaving, she handed me one and was like, "Here, I got one for you too." I literally said, "Wait, what? Why?" And she just shrugged and went, "I know you liked it, it is no big deal." I said thanks, but also told her she did not have to do that. Now fast forward to yesterday, she texts me like, "Hey, can you send me $35 for that scrub when you get a chance?" I was confused and said, "I thought you were treating me." And she goes, "Well, I did not think I would have to pay for both. I assumed you would send me money later." What? I did not ask for it, I did not agree to it. And she literally said, "It is no big deal." I told her nicely that I am not paying for something I did not want in the first place. Now, she is acting like I am taking advantage of her and says she would not have bought it if she knew I would not pay her back. So now I feel weird. I did not want it. I did not ask. But I also do not want to seem ungrateful. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for deciding not to invite my husband's family to my kids' birthday party after they called her a mistake? Me, 25 years old female, and my husband, 26 years old male, have been together for 5 years. We had our daughter pretty early on. She is 4 years old now, and yes, she was not planned, but we were happy and I have no regrets at all. His family, not so much. They have always been kind of cold towards me, and honestly, I have noticed that they do not treat our daughter the same as the other grandkids. Last weekend, we were at his mom's house for a late dinner, and she and my father-in-law were talking about my husband as a teenager. My mother-in-law then proceeded to joke in front of my daughter, saying how he used to be so carefree and go with the flow before he had to settle down so fast. Then she added, "I bet he wished he had more time before jumping into the dad life with an oopsie baby." I was upset. We ended up leaving soon after that since it was getting late anyway, and that night as I tucked my daughter into bed, she asked me what an oopsie baby was. I felt heartbroken for her and basically explained that sometimes people have kids by accident, but that does not make her any less special. After I put her to bed, I ranted to my husband, saying I do not want his mother-in-law around our daughter if she is going to be saying stuff like that. The last thing I want is for my baby girl to be questioning whether or not she is wanted. I said I do not want my family-in-law at her 5th birthday party next month, and I will not be sending them an invite until they apologize for making things awkward. My husband says I am overreacting over a small comment, and I need to relax and not make this a thing. He argued saying I should not overreact to a comment she made when she was tired. He told me I am not allowed to uninvite his family, especially over this. Am I overreacting? Should I just suck it up and let them come to the party and risk my daughter hearing more harmful things? I am honestly really upset, but I feel like I am the only person who is mad, so I do not know what to do. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for not taking neighbor's parcel? Background: a 33-year-old man, have one child, a 5-year-old boy, for whom I share custody with my ex. I currently live in a 2-bedroom rental on a quiet street with a row of only 5 other houses along our road. I live on the end of the row. About 6 months ago, I took in a package delivered for the house at the other end of the row. The package was a heavy box containing a bag of dog food. Later that evening, the neighbor, a 38-year-old woman, came to pick it up. I know she lives alone and offered to carry it for her. She accepted the offer and thanked me, and as I carried it to hers, she kept commenting on the fact that I was being a gentleman, and it was good to see a big, strong man in action. Bit weird, but whatever, I am not that big or strong, although I do go to the gym a few times a week to keep myself in shape. When I got it to her place, she insisted I come in for a glass of water and kept me there for an hour, just chattering on. The same delivery has come to me every month since then. In the evening, she comes to collect, and I carry it over to hers. Each time, she will try to chatter away at me inside the house, if she can coax me in, or on the doorstep if I can find an excuse not to go in. Then last month, when she came to collect the package, my son was home with me. I could not take the box up to her as I was making his dinner. She complained that it was too heavy to carry herself and that it would only take a few minutes. I refused but offered to bring it up later that evening. She pouted and huffed and went home. Half an hour later, she posted a note through the door with her mobile number on it and asked me to message when I could bring it. I had to feed my son, give him his bath, play with him, put him to bed. Once I was done with all that, I finally messaged her. She did not reply until the next day, telling me she had been tired and fallen asleep. Then a few hours later, she sent through a long, rambling tirade. She told me I should have helped, that I was selfish, that I obviously had not wanted to help her as I could have asked her to stay with my son while I carried it, fair point, though it just did not occur to me in that moment, and that if I really wanted to help her, I would have messaged her earlier. This was all sprinkled with some very colorful language. I was in complete shock. I apologized and said I would bring it to her that evening, which I then did. Last week, the day came again for that parcel to arrive, and this time I refused to take it. She came banging on the door later in the evening and screamed at me for not taking the package, that she now had to find a way to get it from the company depot, and that it was going to cost her a fortune. Now everyone along the street knows about it. Another neighbor, a 58-year-old man, has made it clear that he thinks I am the a-hole and has threatened to complain to my landlord about my unneighborly behavior. I really do not think I am in the wrong here. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Neither leaving your 5-year-old unsupervised or being supervised by a woman he does not know, especially since it sounds like you do not really want that woman in your house to begin with either, is unreasonable. Sometimes people have responsibilities that come before being neighborly. Sometimes people realize that something has moved from them being neighborly to another person taking advantage of their generosity. You had responsibilities that superseded your ability to be neighborly at that particular point, and your neighbor revealed she did not acknowledge you were going out of your way to help her, and that she felt entitled to that help, also known as she was taking advantage. You stopped, which is an appropriate reaction,